Tales from the Tavern was recorded in front of a live Twitch audience. Everybody, we are back with another episode of Tales from the Tavern, and I have with me today the entire cast of the very awesome new Telluride podcast from Lawful Great Adventures. So, if you haven't checked that out, you should probably just leave now. Okay.
No, leave.
Stay
and make better choices.
That's true. Here. You should listen to this and then go binge all 5 episodes so that you're all set when the next one comes out. And then you'll
do it before next Thursday. The next Thursday one is the best one so far.
I just started episode 5 this morning, but I'm not all the way through it yet. I should be done with it by the time I get to work tomorrow. So, yeah.
Episode 6 is my favorite. So, get there before there. Okay.
So now you know. You have until Wednesday night to get through episodes 1 through 5. You can do it. I have faith in you. So let's go around. We'll do some introductions, and everybody can tell us a little about who they are, and then we will dive right in. So, Ray, we're going to start with... Oh, excuse me. Her Royal Highness Ray Mayhem. We're going to start with you.
Thank you. We are. Thank you for inviting me here today. Isn't that what it is from the Princess Diaries?
Something like that.
Something like that. Hello, I am Ray Mayhem. In Telluride, I play Captain Anne Bonny, and thinking about what episode 6 must be, I know exactly why it's Zad's favorite, and I love you for that. Truly, I love you for that.
And I'm trying to think, Ray, how many times have you been on this stream before?
Oh God, I stopped counting.
Yeah.
I've been here a lot.
I was going to say, you're probably getting close to double digits at this point.
If I'm not there already, I'm real close to Shannon.
Yeah.
I got that Ricky Bobby mentality. If you ain't first, you last. So.
Oh, amazing. Well, welcome back. It's a pleasure to see you. Rabbit.
Oh, hey, I'm Rabbit, at _Rabbit on Twitter, and I'm the storyteller of Telluride, and you also know me as Theo Rosefield from Lawful Great Adventures.
It's true, and let's see, Rabbit is here, this is his second time, and so, we're working on getting everybody here multiple times. The last time Rabbit was on, my kiddo walked in the room and I was like, hey, guess what? I have the person who plays Theo from Lawful Great Adventures on. And she went, because
super fan.
If you've ever heard me talk about Lawful Great Adventures, my kid is a Theo super fan. So yeah, true story. So she was very excited about that. Ben.
Hey everybody, I'm TT Benjamin. You can find me on Twitter at TTBenjamin1. I'm the host and Dungeon Masters of the Lawful Great Adventures podcast of Pathfinder 1st Edition podcast about 4 friends on a long journey home. I also play Alien Cannon on Telluride.
You did that all in one breath, didn't you? I'm very proud.
I had more in the tank. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
That was good. Well, it's always nice to have you back. I know you're here, we were trying to figure this out before.
5.
It's like number 5, yeah.
Number 5. Yeah,
so,
number 5 for me.
Yeah, Wolfsblood just said in chat, Ben is also a super fan of the Micro Machines Man.
The
Okay, look, you young whippersnapper.
who's the Micro Machines Man? What is that? Wolf, I demand answers.
Oh my god, I feel so old now. The Micro Machines Man was a guy who did commercials in like the 80s and talked really, really fast.
Oh, that guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I'm a huge fan of
Yeah.
this. Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wolfsblood says, God, I hate
Yeah,
you.
I saw a really old.
I thought
I love it already.
I saw a really old documentary about that guy. That's how I know about him.
The snark is real tonight, guys.
Oh no!
And so it begins. Kai Ellen, tell us a little about you.
Hello there, everyone. My name is Kai Ellen. I am at Kai Ellen on Twitter. And I am the voice behind Pip Merriweather on our wonderful Telluride podcast. And I am also a producer of the occasional maybe 50 music tracks this year, not including all the albums. So that was super fun.
Yes.
I think this is appearance 4 for me.
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I'm
Wolfsblood just said, Ben, get in chat so I can ban you. I love it. Yes, if you haven't heard any of Kai Ellen's music, surprise, you're listening to it right now because it's the background music for this stream. So there you go.
You can also catch it in Telluride as well.
Yes.
that's right. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Yep. And Kai Ellen's done lots of other, like intro songs for one-shots that I've been, when I did the Extra Life charity stream weekend extravaganza, he did a couple of theme songs for some of the one-shots for that. And, that was nice, Wolfsblood. Thank you.
I don't know if it's gone live yet, but I also am the artist behind the new intro theme song for Beholder to No One.
Nice.
I don't know if Nikki's gone live with it yet, but I did write that for her.
That's
so.
very cool. And
was pretty cool.
I also used some of your more like ambiance type music for the Thanksgiving episode of Tales from the Tavern. So
Oh yes, that was wonderful. By
yes.
the way, I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. Your music gave me goosebumps, and I was like, I need to use this. And I actually use it for a lot of stuff at work.
Oh, fabulous. Well, for anyone who'd like to take a listen for themselves, check out soundcloud.com/Kyellen-cc. All of the music there is published under Creative Commons license and can be used by anyone for anything. You're welcome.
There you have it. All right. And making their first ever appearance on the stream, we have Zadkill. Hello, welcome.
Oh, hi. Yes, first time here. How's everybody doing? I am Zadkill Green on Twitter, and I'm mostly on Twitter because Ben bullied me into it, and then got the spot on the show through pure nepotism, and boy, here we are.
That's
So,
true.
yeah,
I remember listening to you get bullied about it.
See, if two people hadn't had to cancel for those, because I got both of those spots also through pure nepotism, but on the God, what was the name of that little company that we had? The side series for Lawful Great. So I was basically Ben's ringer for a couple of episodes, and now here we are. I play Jacqueline Blackjack Blanchard. Girl with a sniper rifle. The cute one of the group. Kind of vibing in space.
I love it. I love it. Well, welcome to all of you, especially to you, Zad, for making your first appearance here and not being scared off by everybody yet. So the way that this stream works, if you are joining us here for the first time, is all of our questions that we talk about come from questions from chat. So if you have a question for any or all of our guests, please feel free to drop that right into the chat. We have a moderator who will make sure that we get that and will send us the questions so that we can put them into the queue. We also have the Ask My Question Next. If you have 1,000 channel points banked up, you can use that. That will bump your question up to the next one in the queue. That's available 3 times every stream, so feel free to use that if you're like, man, there's a ton of questions coming in and I want to make sure mine gets answered before the episode ends, because it's known to happen that we don't always make it through all of them. So get your questions in early. Also, we're doing a dice giveaway tonight, so I'm going to start that right now. ! Enter. I have a set. I'm going to try to hold them up, but you won't be able to see the green because we discovered that before the stream, thanks to my nice little background. Here, I'll go like this. Nope, now you really can't see it. That doesn't work. Yeah, no, it doesn't work at all. But they're red and green for the holiday season. They are from Metallic Dice Games, and we're going to give those away at the end of the night. So ! Enter if you would like to enter to win those. You must be present to win, so please don't enter and then disappear. That won't work out very well. So the first question that we're going to start with, because I was literally told that we have to ask this since there are new people in chat tonight. Some of you have heard me ask this question before. This might be new for Zad. When you play at an actual table, do your dice have to match?
Uh-oh.
Well, actually, I have the dice that I use right here. Just gonna like hold it up to the. This is stolen from the dorm that I lived in college. But basically, I have a double set, so they don't all necessarily match, but they do match internally, with the exception of this D6 that I've stolen from my wife, because that's the next nicest set that we have. So do they need to match? Absolutely not. I have done my share of gaming with just like a big random grab bag of dice. I don't need them to match, but boy, howdy do I sure like it when they do.
I have one set of matching dice that I actually care about matching. Otherwise, my dice sort of evolve over time as people borrow, as I borrow dice and hand off dice, and we forget to return them. My dice bag gets more diverse. The gene pool of my dice bag, it's important for it to stay robust. But I do have one set of metal dice, and Rabbit is familiar with this set. That when it's time to fight a big bad, I set it in the middle of the table so that when everyone arrives, they see the sealed case with my solid metal dice inside of it.
I love that.
And then when it's time for the fight, I unseal it, and everyone's like, "No!"
Oh, see, I have one of the Think Geek giant light up D20s.
Yeah,
that I use
those
for
are
that.
great.
So when it lands on a 20, it flashes, and the battery still works. The light's getting dimmer, but the battery does still work. It'll be sad the day that dies.
Yeah, you're lucky mine is dead, so...
I've been playing these games for far too long. I actually had to adopt the bag that these headphones came in to hold all my dice.
Nice.
Because they exploded the old bag. So now I have a giant leather bag that I carry around full of dice.
That's pretty impressive, actually. I like the mental picture that provides.
I tried to push him in, and the poor little bag, the bottom just like popped out.
You found the critical mass of that dice.
I did. It just couldn't hold the poor dice. So.
Oh my gosh.
That's terrific. I love it.
Oh wow. Okay. I have a theory on matching dice, and it sits on an axis of chaos and queerness. And the more you are of each, the more like kind of varied your dice tastes get. So because I am fairly queer and very chaotic, mine don't match at all. So like I have sets, and they're all in there, but like I don't care. They don't have to match.
Yeah, I don't do the matching, but like when I have to fight as Theo in Lawful Great, I have to usually roll like 5 d20s at a time, and then all of like the d8s, and then sometimes some d6s. So I correspond the other dice colors to the main d20 color, so I can keep them all set. together, and that's my weird little bit of OCD with my dice set.
I think I must be the only person here who not only doesn't mix their dice, but I don't even store them all together.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So you've got like the shelf that's all different dice sets, like in their cases.
These
or-
sets are fighting, so they have to be in separate rooms.
So
This one was bad, so
this
it's in
is
dice
the
jail.
start of what's going to be my storage. They are they are
nice.
spice jars.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
dice
Ooh.
rack.
So
Your
I'm
dice
making a
rack.
dice rack instead of a
Dice
spice
jars. Love it.
so you keep them sealed away. That way they can't talk amongst themselves.
It's true. It's true.
Then the bad ones can affect the good
Yeah.
ones.
And
Yeah.
there's a case, you can't see it, there's a shelf behind me, but there's a case there that's got a metal set. Behind that case is a bag that has a bunch of different dice in it, but it's one of those bags that has pockets, so each set has its own pocket, even though they're all in one bag. And then
Wow.
I have not all wooden ones, because they already get a lot of my money, but arcane spectacles. I have 3 sets in various dice vaults from Arcane Spectacles. And then I have a metal set. Actually, it's a metal color changing set in a dice vault from Wormwood Gaming. So, yeah. They all stay separate. I think the only one that's not like in a formal holding anything, but it's because it's the bag they came in, are my Keyfish Crit dice from Greenleaf Geek. Because they came in this cute little bag with a fish.
The bag is also invisible.
Is
and
it?
it's visible.
Partly invisible. There it is. It's better now.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see
That's
it. Yeah,
cool.
no, it's there.
Yeah, I
It's
like
there.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nice.
that's really cute. They're little dice with little orange goldfish in them. And now
Nice.
I'm waiting on my set that has little galaxy-looking cats in them from the same maker.
Nice.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm
Cats.
excited. I'm excited about that. All right, so let's see. Virtrox Nightblood has asked our first real question from chat, and Virtrox would like to know: do you only use a specific set of dice for each character you play, or just whatever you have?
I use whatever I have, but I know that our friend John has specific sets for his individual characters in our Lawful Grey campaign.
Literally any character he makes, he'll be like, "Oh, I got the this person dice, or I got the this person dice now," and then he'll show them all exhaustively. See, I got this, I got that. I bought him a set of clear resin dice with skulls and moss in them for Finn.
Oh, I remember hearing about those. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Nice.
He was that made him very happy. It's the only nice thing I've ever done for him.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I once had the idea of doing something like that, but it just never took. I'm too. I just need to change things up. So mostly what I do is I reach into the giant bag, and whatever the first one is I pull out, I'll collect the set that matches that one.
There you go.
You know,
Yeah.
so if I pull out a red one, I'll collect a red set for that night. When I was growing up, my my dungeon master had the set of black dice with white numbers that he called the demon dice. The D10s were one with black with white numbers and black with red numbers, so you could tell which one was which, because these were old school dice and they didn't have the hundreds place. And I always wanted a set of demon dice like that when I became a game master, but I just like rolling whatever.
Yeah.
It's just the way I go. Whatever comes up, it's fine with me.
As like a forever DM, I don't know. I just got a pile of them just sitting in front of me. I'm just I'm gonna half the time I roll these, I'm gonna make up the number anyway. That's not true. That's not true, Rabbit. That's not true.
I knew it. I've always known.
We're on to you.
Shut up, Ben. Shut up.
My heart is crushed.
I don't use a specific set per character or something like that. Sometimes I do. I will usually I use whatever my newest set is until I get the next new set, and then I switch to that one. So for a long time when I was playing at a physical table, my newest set always came from PAX East. Like, that was kind of my thing, was I would get a new set at PAX East every year. And then freaking COVID hit, and I spent a lot of time on the internet, and Kickstarter is a thing, and
Oh god.
and I spend a lot of time on Twitter anyway, but like I spent even more time on Twitter, and there are dice sellers on Twitter, and I now like doubled my dice collection in the last 2 years, and I haven't played at a physical table since 2019. So yeah. it's kind of interesting.
I have a website I absolutely will not send you the link to.
Thanks. I probably already know it, but cool.
It's a local maker. It's a guy right here in our state that makes them. He's a friend
Nice.
of a friend of mine.
Oh, very cool. I definitely don't want to look at it at all.
Yep, I figured as much.
That's funny.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
literally
go
saw that bowl is literally all the dice that I use. I've got another bag of essentially loner dice or big fuck off spell dice, but it's literally just that double set because those are mine. So
Amazing.
Like, I'm the only one here who clearly is thinking in strategy, because there is nothing I love more than rolling up on a table and quickly sussing out who the squares are, because this will drive a certain type of person insane. Like, I don't bring them in separate bags. I literally put it in my car like this. The ultimate chaos vibes.
Oh,
Yeah. One of the
God.
one
You're
of
going
the
to
guys
steal
that
them.
I play
Mayhem
with.
for nothing.
Yeah.
I go to the comic.
That's right, baby.
I just go to the comic store and just walk up to the table and just turn my pockets out, and then they just fall out.
You're also the one that pays only in pennies.
Mwah. 10 of
Uh,
10.
here's my pocket of random things. Oh, hang on, that's a fudge dice. That shouldn't be in there.
Oh, I didn't even get to so one of the Kickstarters that I backed in the last 2 years was for ice dice. I don't know if anybody saw that, but it's literally a dice tray to make ice dice.
Oh, I've
That's
seen those.
cool.
Yeah,
like a mess.
I finally just made some for the first time the other day. Okay, first of all, the D20 is like massive. Like, you could probably bludgeon someone with it pretty easily.
Whiskey Stone, yeah.
Yeah,
Whiskey
exactly.
Stone.
It is. It's
I
a lot like a
genuinely
whiskey
have-
stone. It's probably
I have
not
D20
quite,
whiskey stones.
Yeah, it's probably not quite as big, but it would definitely suffice. But the silicone that's in the mold is food grade, so you can also use it to make chocolates. And I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm doing as soon as I get the next set of ice dice out of my freezer. I'm definitely making chocolate dice.
Now, are they pointy or rounded edged?
They're
Ooh, good
rounded
question.
edged.
Oh, damn.
I know.
Because the danger of having like a D10 or a D8 in there and like taking a drink and having it impale you on the nose would be so fun.
Right? I take a sip of my drink and I take 1d4 stabbing damage.
I don't know. Maybe, we don't yuck anyone's yum here. That might be like a little pain, little whiskey. I'm not gonna,
Oh my goodness. That's
I
funny.
rolled a very poor dex to be able to drink from this glass.
What if you rolled badly on an ice check and that's why you have
Craft ice cubes.
Yeah. That's what the D4 is for. It just pokes you in the eye. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. 34th Gingerbread would like to know, is this the dice episode? What's your favorite
God.
dice weight, size, and material? I did say it's not intentionally the dice episode. It's just kind of worked out that way so far. But does
Look, I
anybody have-
actually I hate metal. I actually hate rolling metal dice. I feel like they don't
thank you.
get that.
Thank
They don't get
God.
that good bounce. No. They're super cool, super stylish. I don't get that good bounce, so I don't feel like it's random enough. I feel like if I was just, I don't know, a little smarter, I could be like, okay, if it's facing up here and I throw it, then it'll be that, right? No, I got to get that lightweight plastic so that I can dramatically cast it across the table like it's a like it's a craps game in a gambling movie.
like you were in Guys and Dolls.
Oh yeah, I gotta luck be a lady that. No, I'm all about being like, all right, here's the saving throw. If it shows a 14 or higher, then it passes, or whatever. And then I just, like, throw the D20 across the table, and then, like, a bunch of cats that saw a bird outside, like, the whole table's like... So any dice where I can do that dramatically, and it's not so light that it goes all the way over the other side. That's what I'm looking for. That's the ideal dice. Metal can't do it.
So, Rabbit, you guys actually cut all the times that he sang Luck Be a Lady out of the Lawful Great Adventures podcast, right?
Yeah, Ben separates those all out. Eventually we'll release the supercut of Ben dramatically rolling dice while saying big bucks, no whammies.
I sing the entire Luck Be a Lady every time I do that. It's infuriating. The sessions last 5 hours because I have to go through it every time.
Do you do the dance and everything?
Yeah, no, it's a whole production. They're sick of it.
Absolutely awful in every way.
Yeah, I would pay money for the supercut, so, you know.
I want the
Patreon,
supercut of politely stab. That's what I want.
Politely stab?
Oh yeah, it's
My least favorite inside
mercilessly-
joke.
Yeah, it is mercilessly cut from every episode. in our oh god, we did like a trailer talk one, and Ben even just bleeped it out of that discussion in that recording that we released.
Yeah, it's a joke that
was
got done
hilarious.
so many times at the table that I'm like, all right, I'm over this. I never want to hear this phrase ever again. And then here's Rabbit bringing it up.
Yes,
Thanks, buddy.
in a way that you cannot bleep.
He's evaded the censors.
It's all about free speech.
Oh my god.
Free speech jail. You're in free speech jail.
Also, I just want to throw out a side note. Big Bees is here, and he always like freaks out in chat and
I
like
know,
yells
it's
everyone's
amazing.
names really loud. And I always, when he does mine, I always imagine it's like Benjamin. That's the way he types it.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. Okay, let me think. What was I?
Oh, dice weights.
yeah,
right?
I was like, what
okay,
were we just talking
Oh
about?
yeah.
Yeah. So I tried metal dice. I got a set finally, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And now I feel the same way Ben does. Like, they're fine, but I was really hoping for more drama. The problem is I have so many Chessex dice, and they're not my favorite. I'm still trying to find the right weight. I guess they're gonna have to be plastic, but I don't know what kind of plastic they're gonna be. So
Yeah.
I'm on the search again.
I really need to get our friend Emily, who makes dice, to make me just heavily weighted resin cast that she does, and like just put fish sinkers in them just to give it additional weight.
There you go.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Because I love metal dice.
I can tell you this: I like the sharp corners. Those
Yes.
sharp edges,
I
very
have
satisfying.
Sharpies.
Somebody asked me
I
once what I
can't
liked
do-
about them, and I was like, they just look cool.
They
Yeah.
look dangerous and they hurt when you step on them.
Yes.
They-
Sure.
But
they
if
have
it's
a
got the
thing
sharp
called,
corners, it can damage the table.
right, but they're more random that way because when you round them down, it
They
rounds out
slide.
some of the randomness. They don't bounce the right way, right?
But at what
There's
cost? But at the cost of the table.
Well, yeah, but you know, if they're light enough, they're not hurting the table, right? Theoretically, I don't know.
Yeah, I have all these dents all over my desk from when we were having to like play during COVID from my metal dice. And you just sand that out later.
Buffs right out.
When I do
I have to
use my
strip
metal
it and do it
dice,
again.
which is not very often, I actually roll them on my mouse pad, which ironically is a little dragon sitting on a hoard of dice that says, "This is how I roll."
See, that's perfect.
One of my friends found me that for Christmas a couple years ago, and I was like, "Oh, damn, that's perfect for rolling my metal dice on."
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't have a favorite, but any favorite that I do have is the one that I can use my dice catapult for.
What?
Mhm.
Yeah. I actually have two of these. They also work really well with mini marshmallows. Definitely have no
Wow.
experience with that at all. No.
Oh, see, now you're putting ideas in my head because I'm gonna go find one of those marshmallow crossbows and load it with dice.
I have a significantly larger trebuchet in my closet too. So I mean, it's still a table trebuchet, but like I could put metal dice on that one. They'd probably break the window. But
Oh man.
yeah,
Well, instead of sending a 90-kilo object 300 meters, does it send like a 9-ounce object, maybe 3 meters?
probably. Yeah.
I want your trebuchet now. Oh my god! I've always wanted a trebuchet.
My little dice catapult, the strength of how far those will go is totally dependent on the strength of the elastic band you put on it. So, yeah, mine have hair ties on them. I have two. They both have hair ties on them now. So,
When you're at PAX East, Luna, do you ever wonder about those ones that are carved of like precious gemstones?
oh my
That
god.
cost like $900 because they're made of like,
The
ruby
ones
or
that, like,
whatever.
if I was ever allowed to buy a set of dice, they would have to sit in my cabinet for me to stare at because I'd be too scared to touch them ever again.
Yeah, those ones.
Yeah.
I have two favorite sets of dice, and I never use them because I don't want anything to happen to them. One is carved out of bone. Yes, this person does a lot of like wilderness walking and collects bones and then carves dice out of them.
Nice.
The second set, a friend of mine died in 2020, and it was in his will that he wanted to be cremated and then have his body turned into dice, and each of his friends to get a set of his dice. So I have his ashes cast in resin. And I rolled the D20 once 2 times, and it came up 1 each time. And I'm like, Dan, you're an asshole, and I'm never gonna play with these.
Also, ironically, those might be the most metal dice.
Right.
So there's that.
The most metal is bone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bone and people. That's the.
Soylent Dice is people.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
All right, let's see. We do have another question from Zealzaddy, and this gets us off the dice topic. So,
Oh. Okay.
so Zealzaddy would like to know, what do you go over that is unique to your session zeros?
Interesting.
Oh.
I feel like I have an answer to that one, although I'm not.
Like unique to your session zero. Like what
can-
makes your session zero different than everyone else's session?
Yeah, I think so. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we do like the lines and veils and stuff, and we do the character stuff, and we talk about this, we talk about that. But really, I think the big thing that I do in my session zeros that has led to a lot of really cohesive gameplay is I am super clear on everyone agreeing on exactly what the campaign is going to be. Not like what module we're going to do, but like what's the style, what's the overall arc going to look like, that kind of thing. Rabbit, who's in all of my games, knows that like anytime I go do a grand campaign, it's like, okay, this is going to be a globe-trotting adventure fest where your characters are going to be like super mega awesome action heroes. So, you know, that's kind of the vibe we're going throughout for. Or it's going to be like, this is going to be kind of a Death March slog. It's going to suck. That kind of thing. And that's the vibe that we're going to do. So I feel like I'm just really clear on getting everybody on the same page with how the game should feel to play and interact in. And then, you know, your standard safety tools on stuff from there, but that's not terribly unique. Next.
I have nothing to add because I just do what Ben does because I learned it from Ben. And I'm not nearly as good at it.
I learned it from watching
Wow.
you.
It's just practice, right? Really.
It is. It really is.
I'm trying to think if I've done anything in a session zero that was really different. I can't think of
Yeah,
anything off the top of my head.
My problem is I haven't done one in a while. Like most of the games that I have run lately have all been for the same crew, and so we did one session 0 like 5 years ago, and it's all the same people, so we kind of don't feel the need to do it again every time.
Yeah.
I haven't really started a new game in a while, so yeah, I'm not sure. I'm
This is a
sure
scorcher.
there would be something if I started.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I'll tangent a little bit,
Go
and
for
I'll
it.
tell you one of the best session zeros that I've been in, and who hosted and the questions that he asked. Ty from Roll for Chaos does really good session zeros, and the thing that I got from him, I haven't done a session 0 since doing this one, but I'm stealing it. Is he would ask, he went around the table and asked everyone 2 questions, and one of them is, what do you think your character's story is about? And then, what do you think the campaign's story is about? And that was really illuminating and super cool. So, like, one person was like, I think my character's story is about protecting people, and I think the campaign story is about found family. And it's like, oh, okay, so that's kind of what... So it was awesome. I highly recommend stealing those questions, because it really, I don't know, it's just very magical.
Wow.
Those are cool
Those are
questions.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that a lot.
I think the one really good that I've managed to do in a session 0, and we never actually got to it because I've run more session 0s than I have campaigns, but I asked, like, okay, so what's one thing, like, what is one moment, one image, one kind of triumph that you, like, one slam dunk that you want your character to hit before we end this? Just because, like, as a GM, it gives you flags of, like, okay, well, how do I set up a situation? It's essentially letting the characters put together their own Seven Oaths blade to reference Lawful Great. Because it's like, you know, Ben drops in 7 different flags of like, he's like, oh, hey, here's cool stuff that's out in the world that you can go do. And to kind of do that from the other side of having players be like, this is one way that I want my character to feel incredible. And just to be able to work towards that it was a nice feeling that I wish I could have gotten to, but scheduling is a nightmare.
Yeah, scheduling is the ultimate boss fight.
It's true.
One thing that I want to do that I'm just going to talk about session 0 for a little while while people
Yeah, I think
people come up
session
with answers.
zeros are good.
I love session 0. It's my
Yeah.
favorite. If I could do an entire game where it's just session 0, that would be the worst.
Okay, so you know
Oh.
that is a game, right?
What? No.
There is a game that the whole point of the game is building characters together, and whoever has built the best character by the end wins.
Yo,
You
send
don't
me that
play.
link, Ray. We're playing that
Okay.
sometime. It's gonna be
Oh
great.
my god.
One thing that I was thinking about for a system that I've kind of been working on the side for like a session 0 character prompt thing is I've always wanted to come up with list 3 character traits that you have. This is kind of complicated, but you'll see. List 3 character traits that you have, and then list a way that character trait is positive and a way that it is negative, right? So if one of your character traits is you're very righteous, then maybe you could be righteous in that you're really stalwart and you stand up for justice, and then the other side might be, but you're kind of judgmental and that kind of thing. And then you could talk about what does your character need to learn about themselves to grow and develop. I don't know. I've just kind of been thinking about that in my head. How can I get people more involved in their own character's advancement outside of the page?
I think that's one of the cool things about Orbital Blues is that it ties advancement to getting yourself into trouble. I mean, so and if you're listening to the show, we do get a lot of points. We do get a lot of blues points, like the experience points for just being depressing, because it's a bunch of very depressing people. But when I was looking through the blues that you can choose, the different backgrounds essentially that you can pick, I was like, oh, my character is on the run, and that wound up informing just a lot about her. And it's what is she running from? How is the thing that she's running from the thing that's going to try and kill her versus the thing she's actually running from, which is home? But stacking on top of that and like referring back to the way that it's set up in Orbital Blues is like referring back to that trouble in your character's past is something that does build up on top of, like, that's how you advance. That's how you get your character better, is to lean into the fact that they've got a rough past, or don't know what the future looks like, or are just disillusioned with what the present is.
Yep. That is a very cool thing about Orbital Blues. And maybe we should talk about Orbital Blues a little bit, since we're
I think you should, actually.
I think it's a little. It seems to be a bit powered by the Apocalypse inspired, because it definitely uses a similar resolution mechanic. But it is just a really neat game. Rabbit, did the Kickstarter ever like go live, or are we still on a beta version?
No, the version that we use is the current live operating version. They released an errata, a post-errata bit of it. And the book is due to be eventually shipping to my home here any day now.
Oh, nice.
But they are finally done with it, and Jelly Muppet, who's like the main creator of it for Soul Muppet Publishing, just recently posted saying that he won't cancel Telluride as kind of a play on the whole Cowboy Bebop being canceled after the first season.
Ooh.
And I read that and I went, all right, you better not be lying to me.
Oh, man, I love it.
Because I'm already making new mechanics for things that you didn't think about, so.
Oh, man. No, I like the Orbital Blues system. Character creation specifically is like you pick a thing that your character's good at, and then you pick a thing that is making your character sad all the time. And you get, and the experience points, which are called blues, you get whenever specific things in your character sheet come up. So, like, if you're on the run and you have a situation where you think you're being followed, whether or not you actually are, that might get you a blues right there. So advancement is not necessarily based on like how many monsters you kill or how many like black-hatted cowboys you face off at high noon or whatever. It's about how you as a character deal with your own problems. And then once you hit so many points, those problems come to a head, and then shit happens. And then you either sink or swim, and then you can get another you get another gambit, right? The gambits are the things you're good at. You get another gambit, and then you have to pick another trouble, and then you have to keep growing. So
you can, stat increase, new trouble, new blues, and new trouble. I was looking at this earlier because I know a couple of us are sitting at like ready for things to really pop off. The next time things go bad, we're gonna really beat the hell out of it. But you know,
yeah,
and it's my job to make
worse.
the blues stuff happen for them so they grow as characters, and then eventually I can make them, go all Super Saiyan during a big fight. Because there's even special rules for when you declare your troubles brewing from the blues.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very, very cinematic system based on character. It's really character-centric, which is fun.
Yeah, and I think it does the space western feel very well. The rules are all very light. It's not trying to bog you down in dice mechanics for taking care of your ship. Like, it's really, it's a possibly the most character-driven game I've played yet. I've played a lot of games, so
the combat system for Orbital Blues is like it's maybe my favorite way to fight.
It's surprisingly good for a light system. I know that was a really weird way to say that, but like it is.
Yeah, no,
because it's just you roll 3d6 and then you get to play this like addition micro game to be like, okay, normally an 8 hits. Do I think this person is armored? In which case do I need to add up to a 9? And then what are the two smallest dice that I can put together to get to that 8 or 9 in order to deal the most damage? Because the third die that you roll is your damage die, and it's just like, this is great. This is so simple. I don't have to worry about hitting and then rolling a damage dice. It all takes place at the same time. It's fun. It's clever. You just like shove as much flavor into it as you want. And my character is the best at it, hands down.
Yep, absolutely.
Please.
Mhm. I don't know who has the highest body count at this point of the campaign. It has
Which
to be-
one? It's between me and Jackie, depending on if they walk out or if we drag them out in a plastic bag.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I ran a bunch of dudes over with a big car. Like,
No, I
I'm
shot
not
most of those.
sure.
I
Like,
shot most of those dudes before you ran them over.
Yeah. And there's also a very nifty mechanic for how it deals with you can have individual dudes that they fight, but the awesome mechanic is the goon squad. That's squads of 3 or more baddies, but they're base level baddies, and every time you score 3 damage, just one of them dies. So if you do more damage, you can kill more than one person at a time, but they'll share one stat block and 1 initiative. So you can just shove more dudes in and just turn it into a slog by numbers, and it's crazy.
It's a good use of the minion concept,
Yeah.
yeah, which is something that not enough games use, in my opinion.
It's also really easy to hack because it is so light and everything's done very clearly, and all the mechanics, their use is really well defined. I ended up creating my own trouble because I'm playing an old man. So I made a trouble about playing an old man, and that's not in the book. I made a trouble about being an old man who's a retired space cowboy on one last wild ride. But you could hack weapon mechanics really easily. I think we on the fly created a machine gun mechanic. It's just really easy to do.
Yeah,
So yeah, Orbital Blues, everybody, check it out.
you should check it out.
As an avid listener to the podcast, I can say too, it's also really easy to follow, to listen to, which is really nice for, I tend to listen when I'm commuting. I was listening on my walk today, things like that. So, it's nice because it's not necessarily something that I have to okay, how does that mechanic work again? And how did they do that the last time? There's not a lot of that stuff that you have to follow. So, it's really nice in that regard too.
Yeah. 3 stats, 3 different types of rolls, and you can make them harder or easier. And then it even has ruling in the book for, is this just something that doesn't need a check? Do you really need to, or can they just do it?
Right.
Which is nice.
Yep. I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. It's good when you're a fan of the system that you're playing.
Yeah, that worked out. That worked out
Yeah,
nicely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
bring it
if I
back
never
to the
play
original.
if I never play Pathfinder again after Lawful Great, I will be so happy.
Pathfinder is very good at what it does.
Oh
Very
yeah,
good.
boy, it
But you
sure
really
does
gotta
do
be in.
something.
You gotta really be in for what it does. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. All right. Let's see. We had an Ask My Question Next come in from Vertrox again. And so Vertrox says, I've asked this question a few weeks ago, and I know at least one of you, Ray, has, but have you ever played multiple characters in the same world? The world building that can be done from exploring different areas and perspectives in the world by doing so is incredible.
I would love to, but I'm stuck GMing, so I defer to the table.
So every character you play is.
True. Yes.
Vertrox and I have the same home DM. Dev makes things, and I'm kind of infamous in Vaima because I will play anything. If someone wants to just play around for funsies, I'll jump in and just play. And I did that with Vertrox and with Nicola the Druid. And I was a sentient hat that was the soul of a lich trapped in it. So it needed to harvest souls to survive. So it snuck into a museum in the children's dress-up area.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, that's so good.
And I was trying to think of a name, and I'm like, what's a cool guy name? And they're like, oh, your name is Cool Guy Name now. And so I was an evil hat named Cool Guy Name. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, and then I managed in a game to have one of my characters pass something to another character. And Devin was like, I've never had this happen before. Like, because they were both in the same place. He's like, okay. Like, I don't have a rule that says you can't. So.
Actually, in our campaign, I'm going to be also playing another character, but details to follow on that one because we don't want to have all the spoilers.
Yeah, for Lawful Great Campaign 2, actually, everyone is going to be playing a second character. So there's now a ton of characters, which is cool.
Wow.
I thank you so much for asking this question. I love the idea of doing like tabletop storytelling from multiple different angles in the same world. I think it would be kind of harder if it was like if it was the same players with two separate parties. I have always wanted to do a game where I've got two parties in the same world, kind of orbiting each other, just to see how that looks and feels. Makes me so happy. I've also wanted to do.
If you want a really long-running example of that, Dungeons and Randomness has been running for like 10 years now, and they've had as many as 4 groups going in that world at the same time.
Oh my god!
The amount of work that Jason Massey puts into that is astounding. So like that's one that like is actually playing in that space. Also, in terms of like playing separate characters, Tracy, the other Tracy on Twitter, he's recently they've recently put together like the most recent game that they've put out or that are putting out is essentially like everybody is constantly body swapping between characters the entire time. Not like body swapping in the ludic sense, but like it's set up to just be like create a character on the fly, stat him out quickly, get him on the road. You play that character for a little while, they go into the pool, you pull over somebody else. So that's Iron Edda Reforged. That podcast is 6 or 7 episodes in, and they're doing some really great work on that one. So that's really fun. Yeah, Big B's over in the chat. I think, yeah, B's, you're in that side game, and I think an upcoming video project. So Iron Edda Reforged is very exciting from that perspective of just play different people. Play people, explore the world.
Is that the name of the podcast or the name of the system they're using?
Iron Edda both. I think Puppet Strings is the name of the specific story that's being told.
I would be mad interested in playing that sometime. Oh my god, that sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. It's super exciting to listen to.
I think I have answered a question like this before. I have through my my friends, my co-conspirators at Tumbledike Games, I got involved with a friend of theirs who decided he wanted to start playing D&D again after many years, and he's a high school history teacher. So he built a world and currently has something like 25 players in rotating groups, all playing in different parts of this same world. So he started... I was actually one of the first players. Like, it started with a group of 4 to get the whole thing running. And he's built it over the years to the point where he has a yearly holiday called First Feast, where all the players get together and, like, have a holiday. My first character got married at one point. And so we had a wedding, like everybody went to his house, and there were toasts and gifts given, and all of it was both in-game and for out-of-game prizes, like meta-game prizes. You could play games to get tokens that you could then redeem in-game for something. The man is, I'm pretty sure, clinically insane, but we love him very much. I'm on my 5th mid-realm character. It would be 4, but one of them died in his very first session when he fell into a well. Thought he was rescuing a little girl's mother, turned out to be her doll. the well fell in on his head and crushed him when he rolled a 1 on
Oh.
his check. So that was fun. But it did serve to teach the table a valuable lesson. The dice do not forgive.
No.
So yeah, that is that's a super fun project that I've been involved in for quite a few years now.
I've played 2 characters in the same universe, but they never would have crossed paths with each other. Both also in a Pathfinder camp, in 2 separate Pathfinder campaigns. They happened to be in like sister cities at the time that each game actually ended. So same universe, same time frame, I think, but never actually crossed paths with each other. So, yeah. Which would have been super fun. But it didn't happen.
I
Just having to play a scene against yourself.
Right.
I also, at one point, I just remembered, I ran a one-shot for my sister's birthday that I did a zombie, like, attack in a fantasy town, which I thought would be fun, because she's a horror girl, you know. We had a great time. Turned into a brief campaign. But then I also set a second group in the same world, but, like, 20 years later in the same region. So they were interacting with the aftermath of what happened in the zombie one. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's a good one.
So, like, I had one group building history while the other one was interacting with that history.
That's
that
cool.
was fun. Didn't last as long as I hoped, but it was fun while it lasted.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Did everybody answer?
You did.
All right. Well, let's see. This is probably a great time for us to pause and take a break before we dive into another question. So we've got a couple that we can get to after the break, but feel free to drop some in chat if you haven't asked one. We will have moderators are standing by, and they will be happy to make sure that we get your questions to answer them after the break. Give everybody a chance to step away, refill drinks, hashtag free the pee, all of that good stuff. And also, if you haven't had a chance to enter our giveaway, !enter to win a set of dice from Metallic Dice Gaming. I would love to show them to you, but you can't see them because of the background that I have up, but they're red and green, and there's a picture of them on Twitter. So you could go look at it over there. So we will be back in just a couple of minutes, and we'll see you after the break. Hi, everyone.
In a world where heroes stand tall,
What the heck is that supposed to mean?
oh, sorry. Play as adorable hamsters in Disaster Hamsters 2, an epic TTRPG book designed for 5th edition.
It's more fun than you can stuff your cheeks with.
The book has 3 parts.
Ta-da!
Everything you'll need to play as a hamster in 5th edition.
Ta-da!
A whole sanctuary full of adorable sentient animals for your hamsters to explore.
Hold up! Adventure? I'm so confused. How am I even talking right now? I have so many questions!
The nefarious scientist Jerry Hilliot has perfected the process of creating sentient hamsters. Now, for a final test, he's dropped his experiments into the sanctuary to see how they fare. Not only must they survive, but they must also defeat the tyrannical kitty Snuggles to escape to freedom.
This is awesome!
We need your support for Disaster Hamsters 2 to happen. We'd love to have you on the team.
it means a lot to a lot of people.
Okay, we are back. We were definitely not watching horrifying cooking videos during the break. That was not a thing that was happening at all.
No.
Ever.
I am changed as a person.
Oh my goodness. And we definitely did not traumatize one of my moderators with the video either. At all. That's not a thing that we did either.
I don't think we
Exclamation
can. I don't think we can traumatize him.
No, it's true. Yeah, chat's like, I don't believe you guys.
Ooh,
I
what
can't
video?
imagine
What
why.
video? No, you don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Please,
chat.
please tell me which video so that I can avoid it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which video specifically, so that I make sure I don't watch it.
Yeah.
Ask more questions and maybe I'll post it.
Ooh. There you go. There's good incentive. Exclamation point enter if you'd like to enter to win a set of dice from Metallic Dice Gaming's. They are red and green with gold numbers on them. Perfect for the holiday season. I promise I will get them in the mail this week. Whether or not they make it to you before Christmas, I have no control over that. So, yeah, let's dive back into some of the questions that we have. Let's see. The next one that we have is from Big Bees. And, or should I say, Bees! And Bees would like to know, if you could turn a module into a video game, which would you choose?
Kingmaker, but it doesn't suck.
Damn!
Wow.
Ben making a
not
shot
wrong.
for the jugular right from the start.
Wow. Well then.
Okay, well, that was a fun
I think-
question.
Yeah, I think that's a mic drop moment right there.
Curse of the Strahd, and the Strahd has to be voiced by Gary Oldman.
I think Curse of Strahd would be a really fun video
That
game.
was the very first thing I
yeah.
thought of when I saw that question, actually.
Because if you put it into a video game, you can keep it tonally consistent instead of like
Exactly.
having Strahd show up the first time and then have like the four adventurers just kind of dunk on him for 10 minutes. Which, you know, to be fair, that DM maybe should have just had Strahd come out and one-shot us all, but he didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Strahd's supposed to be like show up and just be taunty for what? Doesn't Strahd have more important things to do? Haha! 4 people have come to my domain. It's time to invite them to dinner and show them how powerful I am. And then, like,
I mean, he's
inevitably,
he's looking
every
for
table
air.
just talks mad shit.
Strahd just needs to show up and dunk on people every once in a while, just to let them everybody. That's why the entirety of his kingdom sucks, is because instead of doing the important things to be able to control the populace, he's too busy dunking on random assholes that come traveling through.
Come wandering.
This is the true evil of Strahd. His
is the
lack
terrorist control.
of follow through and administration.
He's like douchebag Santa Claus. He's got a list of everyone that lives in Barovia, and he's just gonna show up and make fun of them once a year.
Wow.
I love that mental picture. Oh my god.
A bunch of bats come flying into a child's birthday party. He fully forms, comes in, takes the birthday cake, and just throws it on the ground and leaves. And
So there is-
goes into bats, like goes to the front door, opens it, breaks one of the hinges, and then just walks away.
So there's a character in like the Thanos comics where it's just like a normal dude that Thanos shows up every now and again and just screws with for no other reason than he's a jerk. And that's kind of what this feels like, but it's a whole country.
Oh my gosh.
Has anyone else here played The Wild Beyond the Witchlight?
No.
It would make a incredible video game, but if you haven't played it, you should, because it takes place in the Feywild at night at the Witchlight Carnival. So it's circus themed, and it's like in the Feywild, so there's all kinds of high magic, and it's a little spooky. Oh, it's so fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, my home campaign actually that just started last week is literally in the thick of the Witchlight Carnival right now.
Nice. Did anyone get the chance to play Humblewood? I think that would be I think that'd be a really good setting for a video game. The built-in campaign is like really straightforward. It's Fern Gully, but like but I think that'd be a really fun setting for a D&D video game.
I think Humblewood would make a really good like Animal Crossing style cozy game.
Oh my god, could you
Ooh.
imagine like Stardew Valley, but it's Humblewood? So you get to go fight monsters, but then you've also got your little garden?
Oh my god, I would play the hell out of that.
I would play
Oh
that.
my god, that sounds relaxing.
Yeah.
That sounds so great.
Cozy games are best games.
It's true.
Stardew
Similar
Valley lets me
vibe.
live out my fantasy of having a really nice home in the country where all I do is just grow my vegetables.
Rabbit, you can come live in my haunted house. There's room for you.
But I got my dubiously haunted doorway in my home.
That's right.
For those of you who don't know, Ray's looking at a house, and we had the discussion about hauntings, and I think one doorway is haunted because my cat goes full, like, poofed sausage with raccoon tail and stares just at the apex of the entry while scurrying backwards sometimes and, like, side-eyeing it as he walks out of the room and comes back and then walks out of the room.
Man, you guys have such interesting homes. Mine's only haunted by the spirits of 70s do-it-yourself architecture.
That
The
is
most
a very
terrifying
lovely...
ghost.
I did establish that the house that I'm looking at was obviously redone in the late 70s because the master bath has shag carpet in it.
Yeah.
Evil.
You gotta. Well, that mildew's not gonna trap itself.
I would say steam clean it before you pull it out.
I killed Ray. I got her. Anyway, the way I would do a Humblewood video game is that we would have the garden, but then the combat would be like mercilessly difficult. So you.
I'm dead. DED dead.
I once had the privilege to play an old school one called The Lost City.
Ooh.
I think that would be a really cool one to update and bring into the sort of the modern age. It takes place entirely inside like a pyramid in the desert, in which there are several different societies all sort of interacting with one another. And I think that would be a really interesting one to sort of update and bring into the Baldur's Gate style, like dialogue rich video game type.
Different ideal. If you did a Tomb of Horrors as a point and click adventure.
Oh yeah.
I had a different pitch for Tomb of Horrors. Tomb of Horrors, 4-player co-op, Soulsborne.
Ooh.
Oh. I'd play that. I'd play the hell out of that.
It's kind of isn't it kind of puzzle heavy for, I guess, like I've only done the first hallway and down the elevator of the Tomb of Horrors. Is there enough actual combat to sustain something like that?
You can put it in there. Put a bunch of combat in the trap rooms, and like you'll just kill people over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's the perfect recipe for a game that people hate to love and love to hate.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of where, like, I can't think of any one specific. A lot of the games that I've played have been homebrew, so it's hard to pick a module that I would want to do.
I mean, I feel like if someone decided to take the Baldur's Gate 2 engine and just remake Avernus, that'd be a really cool spiritual successor to the Baldur's Gate series.
I kind of want someone to take like Rise of Tiamat and make it from the perspective of the bad guy. So, like, you were trying to vanquish all these things along the way.
What about Strahd from the...
I was just thinking that too.
I
Strahd, but as Strahd.
I don't think we can make I don't think we can make a Strahd video game because he's gonna become what Lady Demestris, however you say her name, Demestrescu from Resident Evil. Like everybody's like, oh, giant lady, we love you so much. Like they're gonna call Strahd. They're gonna call Strahd daddy. Like I just can't.
Yeah.
Okay, but counterpoint. Okay, so here we have this idea for the what if Curse of Strahd, but it's like Barovia management sim, and Strahd is also an 8-foot tall woman.
What if we did
ship it?
What if we did Curse of Strahd, but as the Naughty Goose Game, and he just went around Batman?
Oh,
and instead of like you having to like being like stealthy with the goose, it's you have to be terrifying to everyone so they just don't question what you're doing.
Yeah,
that's the one button.
I definitely don't see Strahd.
Oh my gosh. Chat just said Curse of Strahd, but as a dating sim cooking game where you're serving up the town.
Oh man.
Oh
man. If I
no.
rethink like most games that I've ever played as a dating sim, that changes a lot.
God, I played a game of, still am sort of playing a game of Stew Pot, which is a game that is a group of adventurers settle down and open a tavern, and that's the game. It rules. You're supposed to play it in 3 hours. A couple of my friends and I have been playing it off and on for 9 months. It has genuinely just turned into a dating sim, and it's just... It's like, you start off and you're just like, oh, hey, it would be fun to have our little, like, crew that's settling down be a polycule, and then all of a sudden you've got, like, a dragon that runs the local art gallery and will occasionally go and steal shit from art investors. And it's just like, okay, we have too many characters in this setting and they're all pretty, so this is the game now.
That's
but
funny.
I think as, like... a group of adventurers, people who have a long history, especially if you can be really thoughtful about the way that the core cast has to relate to each other after having been on the road for so long, and then they've settled into a stew pot or a hawker's like post-adventure trying to live a normal life, and you just like take one of the POVs and now you've got like now it's a I mean, dating sim is kind of the most common one because romance is inherently engaging, but just like play through this person trying to settle into normal life after the fact. And that would be pretty cool. Like that could be a good cozy game where it's like every once in a while you just tap into it and it's just like, yeah, sure, I'll drain the magic out of my sword so that we can power the pot for the soup. That's fine. But I don't know. So I think like something like that. It's not a specific. We're getting away from the prompt of specific module, but something of that effect.
Being partway into Tomb of Annihilation with one as a player, not as a DM. I don't actually know how it ends or anything, but I think it would be neat to do as a strategy game from the perspective of the Omnians. Because clearly they're there trying to do something. And if you were like, if you were running it as like a, I don't even know whether it would be grand strategy or more like real time, but I think you could play it maybe as a grand strategy game. Like the old, what was it called? Dawn Shard or whatever? There was once a D&D strategy game where you had to like build parties of adventurers and send them off to do stuff. And then they'd come back, they'd go out and collect stuff and bring it back. I think you could do something like that with that, probably.
I'm getting big Darkest Dungeon vibes from this description.
Oh yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
Dark Dungeon. Yeah, for sure. This was more like real-time strategy, but Darkest Dungeon would totally work. Yeah.
Or like an XCOM kind of thing, where you've got the
Yeah.
base and you're doing the base, but then you also play your squad going in and getting murdered.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
XCOM would be
And the goal is just to get a little deeper each time.
Right. XCOM roguelite on Schultz. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We have a question from.
Oh my God, is John here?
John.
My
Tale
phone
of
died, so I
Manticore
can't-
has arrived.
Ah.
Hey! I just did a couple of voices for them. I love that show.
Very nice.
Me too.
All right, let's see. So Vertrox Nightblood had another question. What is your IRL God stat and your IRL dump stat?
Ooh, here's the rest of the night for you.
Right?
Oh,
That's it.
man.
Yeah.
I have extremely high charisma, and I will not
Agree.
expand any further. My constitution is very low. I do not like to get my heart rate above 140, and sometimes it just sort of does it involuntarily.
Oh man, are you and I the same person, Ben?
Really?
That's why you're both baby. You question this. Baby, you're both baby.
My general practitioner says I have something called pre-hypertension.
Pre-hyper. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow, I think Ben and I are the same person.
we are. It's true.
It's true.
I've
ask
been
anyone.
I've been oscillating my consciousness between us this whole time.
So Kyellen steps on a D4 and Ben says, ow.
Apparently.
It's very confusing for my wife, let me tell you.
Mine too.
Got him.
Gosh.
I have very high constitution, but I have a lot of negative effects running.
Explain.
Oh, well, I mean, like if you were playing a campaign where you had like a continuous injury built up over time, so I'd have a thing that just makes my heart bad and my kidneys bad, and then all my joints just suck. But then I also am like strong, but not like a 20 stat strong, more like a solid 16 strength stat strong, like enough to do some crazy shit. And then I have great wisdom, but my intelligence score is just awful.
Yeah,
Dex is my dump stat.
I'm kind of in the same boat that my wisdom is, I would say, decent, and my intelligence is probably like fair to middling.
But strength, Dex dump stat for me. This guy can't even touch like the bottom parts of his shins.
Oh no.
Weirdly into lockpicking, though.
Yes.
So,
So, like I said, bunch of negative effects that are stacked on top of this character.
I base
I-
though.
I think my god stat's probably charisma. I am a charisma based creature. And my dump stat is probably intelligence, because I can be pretty wise, but god, I do some stupid shit. Like I make some choices that I look back at them and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like why did an adult let you do this? Like, what happened here?
You need an adultier adult in the room.
I do. I very much do.
Yeah, I think for me it's like this is very funny. We've got like four players are all like, oh yeah, it's 16, like those high charisma numbers. It's like charisma 16, 14 ints. And then everything else is kicking around at like a 12 or a 10. I wouldn't say I necessarily have a dump stat. It might be strength. I would trade a little bit of strength for a little bit of extra wisdom if I could, but that's, it's already on the sheet. What are you going to do?
I think I just rolled really poorly at character creation because I seem to have dumped all 3 physical stats for like a 15 int score, not quite the +3 because, that would make me much smarter than I am, and like a passable charisma and, enough wisdom to not do totally stupid things all the time.
See, that's where you went wrong. Don't roll for your stats. Use standard array every time.
Yeah, I really should have gone with a standard array, but
Or the point buy is good.
You got to get out there and kill you some kobolds so that you can get smarter. That's how that works.
I know, right?
Ability score improvements level 4.
Unfortunately, the problem is, like, I'm pretty sure I have negative modifiers on all 3 physical stats, and the one time I tried to train myself out of that, it didn't get very far, so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you tried Gunslinger?
I have not tried Gunslinger, but I don't think
I got Ray again, yes!
I don't think I have enough dex for Gunslinger. I'm pretty sure I'd shoot my own foot off. The best thing I have going for me is Technomancy, but that doesn't really work all that well in real life, so...
And now, in my head, all I can hear is, the system is down.
The system is down. Was literally the soundtrack for like 15 gazillion of my home D&D games.
Oh. It's also the sound my brain makes when I'm attempting to string plot together.
That's my secret, Cap. I don't try to string the plot together. It just sort of happens.
That's why I don't DM, because when I do it, it's just like watching somebody text, the dots come up, and then stopping. And then starting again, and then stopping.
Oh, we just went through...
We just did that bit.
We literally had an extended scene in Telluride where that happened.
Not nearly as much fun as not being able to get on to the next thing when you're DMing. Not as much fun as that.
For sure.
Yeah, we're on like session like 8 or 9. I'm pretty sure Rabbit thought we were going to be way further than we are.
Actually,
Rabbit, have
no.
you met this cast?
I have, and it's really fun. And the thing I've learned the most is like everybody's just awesomely terrible people, and I keep giving them the moral quandaries, and they just keep being bad, and it's so enjoyable for me.
The way that you said that we keep being bad, I need that isolated, and that's my ringtone now.
Bad.
That's gonna be Jackie's new text tone, honestly.
Oh man, like, so this crew right here, if you give them someone pretty and it looks like they're trying to do something good, they immediately assume they have ulterior motive. It's so just wonderful.
This crew, if you give them someone pretty, they will basically do whatever that person says. Like, whoever the most attractive NPC in the room is, they're in charge of the Telluride crew. Like, they're the actual captain.
Listen, this is a Captain Bonnie and Jackie problem, and I just listen to everything that Captain Bonnie says.
A hard 50% of the time, Bonnie could probably ignore that, but there's definitely like a lot of YOLO in her brain, and she's like, "Man, whatever."
We killed 16 people because the union organizer was hot. I just need to be.
We killed 16 people. She was hot because she was a union organizer and also hot. But listen, Rabbit's over here. He's done a union. You know how it is. All union organizers are hot.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Oh yeah. Also, when you talk about like organizing a union and bring up the things that are actually real in the real world and have them happen in your made-up world, people think there's shady shit happening. Oh my god, it's so good.
We did. We were very suspicious. Like now hearing it said back to me, I questioned union ethics, but I'm pretty sure my character has punched to death more than one person. So like, yeah.
Not like in an
Just
anti-union way, like the like the ways that the voting system, like, man, those people, like, all their names are public. That's really bad.
yeah.
That sounds dangerous for them.
Yeah, Jesus.
This is my bone of contention. I don't think that the cast of Telluride is bad people. I just, the world is, I mean, it's shitty in a lot of the ways that like the world we live in is shitty. No, Killian is not Ben.
Killian's a bad
shitty.
person. Killian's a very bad person.
He's been a bad person in the past, and I tell you what, I'm not gonna let that motherfucker die. I'm not gonna let you just ride off into the sunset. Honestly, if you want to say that you think that this character should go out in some heroic blaze of glory, I think that is too good for Killian. Killian deserves to live out the rest of his life in relative contentedness, being reminded occasionally of the bad shit that he's done and being like, well, you know, I guess I came out the other side and I'm all right, and still feeling bad. I want him to live a long, happy life on the fucking farm.
You'd make a terrible Satan. Like, that's awful. I punish you to retirement.
No, that is a terrible fate indeed.
I'm not ready to let go of Killian. I don't care what his opinions are on the matter.
Luna, we got any more questions?
Yeah, more questions, or we'll just talk more about this.
Yeah, we can just talk more about like.
Let's
Killian
see.
in the name of that's great.
That's great.
No.
Yes.
Killian in the name of.
No, we do have another question. Jason C. Shadowbane would like to know, what character did you create that was different from their race's standard type and style?
I made a Yeti he was a wizard, and he wanted to be human so bad, so he shaved his fur into like mutton chops. His name was Gregory Never Greg.
That's right.
Oh. I did concept out a paladin that was like lawful stupid, but not in like a judgmental way. He just wanted everyone to have a good time and high five people and encourage them to do the good things.
Oh.
His name was Yob.
I was gonna say you're gonna play Kronk, basically.
No, that's Garth Rockason.
Oh,
Hey, yo, what
played-
up? Someone
you
asked me
played-
for Garth Rockason.
And did you play a himbo?
Oh my god, I love playing him. This doesn't answer the question because this is definitely not against type, but I played a half-orc fighter, himbo named Garth Rockason, who was based off of 80s action stars. And he's easily my favorite go-to character.
No, and I got invited into that game. It was our Curse of Strahd game, in which we just ended up dunking on Strahd and then decided to play something else. But like the character, when Ben pitched me on Garth, my first thing was like, okay, what's gonna be the interesting thing for this character's best friend? And so it was just this like I wound up making an Aasimar because the GM was just like, stick with the stuff that's in the player's handbook, and if you give me a restriction, then I'm gonna like try and tell a story that was so good you'll let me go around it. So it's this like half angel, just absolute like, I don't even know how to explain this character anymore, honestly.
Half angel, massively gender fluid bard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like is die hard for Garth Rakasan because owes several different life debts, and also like Garth is living in a world that is so much better than the world that everybody else is living in. It's gonna fucking kill him someday, but honestly, like, let him go. And so, like, I played that character kind of hard, and that was actually the original Zadkiel, and that was basically how I became me, kind of. So, like, I don't even know if that's necessarily, like, I haven't seen too many other people playing Asimars, so I don't know if that's necessarily even against type, but
Yeah,
like
I'm trying
just
to
very
think of
moody. Yeah, like because Zad was like a drug addict, kind of, although that kind of got backgrounded.
Zad was an interesting character because Garth was like outwardly the party, but Zad was actually the party.
Mm-hmm.
Like Zad was like had like sorority girl trying to get through the week at college sort of energy, and then like but like you knew that like she was up to some shit. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what I've played against like type. I don't know, I always feel like there's not a lot of against type.
It's usually more interesting to go like not against type, but 45 degrees from type. Like this is the thing that you're expecting, but like I'm gonna kind of take it over here and do something that's slightly different. And like Garth is a half-orc, so you would imagine some sort of, like, meathead, yeah, but also, like, kind of with a side of brood or with a side of brutality, and...
Yeah, like, really ferocious, and that was not Garth.
Right, yeah. Garth is, like, fundamentally a joyful character, which maybe this was the thing I was keying into, is that is fundamentally a bummer.
Yeah, so we've got a bummer bard, and then we've got like a happy-go-lucky fighter. I guess that answers the question. Teacher, will you accept the answer?
One of my more successful characters was, and I think I might have brought this up before too, but when I joined my current longest-running group, I thought that it was going to go like usual and we'd play like 3 sessions and the game would be over, because that's how 98% of the games I've ever started in my life have gone. And so they needed a healer, and so I was like, okay, sure, I'm going to play a tiefling war priest of, you know what would be funny? Saren Ray. Sure, I'm going to play a demon who worships an angel, because that's going to be funny. And then I played the character for 2.5 years completely straight, and ended up forming a vengeance cult along the way, and you know, and all because against type, when the DM was like, "Hey, you need to create a rival for your character so that we have some backstory to gin up here," naturally his equal and opposite was an Asimar who wanted to tear down the world. So, there you go.
I did a character one time. She was a bard that super truly believed she was a wizard. All of her spells were the spells that like crossed the wizard bard, like both of them could have them, and she didn't realize that she could grant bardic inspiration by, she carried a lot of like trinkets, like a lucky rabbit's foot or a feather or, you know, like just random things. And she would grant bardic inspiration by like giving someone the lucky rabbit's foot and then telling him the whole story about why it's lucky. And that was how she was able to grant bardic inspiration. She had no idea she was doing it.
That is incredible.
Cool. I like that call. I like that plan. That's very good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Luna,
I've always wanted to play the Fist Wizard. You know, I cast Fist.
Yeah.
Monk who thinks he's a wizard.
Yeah. Fist to face.
Yeah, Fist to face.
Yep. What were you gonna say,
Luna? I want to get to Tales of the Manticore's question, because
it's a great one.
Yes, especially for this group.
Yep. So we're gonna buzz right to that one. Question for everyone: do you do a voice for your PCs, and can we hear a sample? And can we hear them say your favorite movie quote?
I'll go last because I can do all of my voices while saying this paragraph line.
I mean, I do voices. Ben does voices.
Ray, can you resurrect Poog's voice for me real quick?
Okay, so what you people have to understand is that this is the voice that I use for my dog Theodore.
Yeah.
And so Pig sounded a lot like Cartman. But you make them sound really dumb because they talk like this. Like that.
Oh, I love it.
So I do voices for all my characters all the time. I do voices when I'm GMing. Like my narrator voice is distinct from my talking voice. So in Telluride, I play Killian Cannon, a 68-year-old past his prime gunslinger who's kind of on the last ride. So he's kind of gruff and southern sounding. So I don't have a favorite movie quote for him to read, but I grabbed a random Western one to read for Killian, and we'll see how this plays. Hold on, let me grab the thing. Here we go. You see, in this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns and those who dig. You dig. And that's from...
Good, Bad, the Ugly.
Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Yep, that's the one.
Blondie says that to Poncho?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Killian.
I'm trying to decide which one is my favorite because I've done a lot of voices. Probably like no shit. My favorite was probably Cool Guy Named the Hat, because he sounded kind of like Nandor and kind of like Dracula, but he was also like really mean and like. He was hilarious and just merciless. He kept telling Vertrock's character that his mom was hot. it was something else.
You got one guy, or
I usually try to come up with a voice. Like I'm for the most part on Telluride, I'm playing Pip with a bit higher inflection generally when I'm direct quoting. It isn't that much different from my own. Honest to God, most of my character voices end up being really badly stereotypical accents. Most of which I will not perform live on camera for fear of inspiring a torches and pitchforks party to my door. So yeah, I don't know if I there's thanks Cooj, I appreciate you. So I work on it, but they are. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I definitely. Oh, I did. For when I played a fetchling rogue for a while in one of our games, and I gave him a belter accent from The Expanse. Ooh. That was super fun. I actually like read up on the Creole that they wrote, so I was delivering like real belter Creole for a while. That was super fun.
Yeah, I think for my characters, like I just kind of modulate. I mean, I had one that was me kind of badly doing Korg from Thor Ragnarok, trying to play in that like rural New Zealand for that character. That voice ended up sounding a bit like this. Been a minute since I've done it. Hello, my name is JW Gabby, and I'm with Void Company. I'm here to help. It was kind of how that one went, but no. It was a brain in a jar and a robot suit was that character. I miss them dearly. But that was how that was. But like Jackie's just where's Jackie on this one? So we've got 106 miles to Chicago, a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Yep, Yeah, so it's, I don't know, like, I know I will very much slip into and out of Jackie just when we're talking in and out of character. That's an easy crossover for while we're recording, but
Rabbit, there's only one voice I think the people want to hear from you, and that's Space Alex Jones.
Oh, so here's what I got. I was going to do this and actually do 4 voices.
Oh no,
total.
Rabbit! He's pulling out every
He's got
arrow
a
in the
Post-it
quiver.
note, yeah.
Do you I'll give this one to the group. Do you guys want me to? Ivory doesn't really have an accent really, so I was gonna do Mama T from
Mama T, yeah.
Mama T. So I'm gonna Theo. I'm gonna do the voice for the character that's coming up in the LGA next campaign. I'm gonna do Mama Tea Garden, and then I'll finish it with Alex Jones.
Okay.
Lightning round.
So, this is Theo, new character, Mama, and Alex Jones. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, who is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. We got great products.
God.
Best nutraceuticals on the planet. I got Brain Force Plus. It's on special, 25% off.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
Amazing.
Mama T say some
Mama T
really
rules.
scary shit's fun.
Yeah, that was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, Alex Jones is so fun to do. Just think of the most heinous shit possible and then say it like this. You know what the problem with those liberal D&D players that talk about having safety rules in their games is that
You're
they
giving
don't
me
respect
PTSD,
free
you gotta
speech.
Oh no!
Oh, God.
I feel like we owe Rabbit aftercare now. Like that was
Aftercare is for communist lefties who drink
I
children's
thought you were
blood.
gonna say communist lesbian.
no, you're entirely
Which guilty, but like
Why are you so much
Again, you
better
are
at this
entirely
than
right.
me?
Luna's over here. Look on her face. I can just see her. She's like, I'm gonna have to edit this. I don't know. What
I'm like,
I'm
we're
gonna-
going off the rails. You know what?
I
That's okay,
cannot.
'cause we're in the final countdown, so it's all good.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry if you're new and nobody warned you about me. My mama didn't raise me right. I'm sorry.
She was dropped down a flight of stairs as a baby. Oh gosh. And on that note,
And none of them were ever invited back ever again.
There goes Ray's streak.
Yep, there goes my streak.
oh gosh. All right. We are coming up on the end of the episode, and so I would like to remind everybody there is a giveaway open for just a couple more minutes. ! Enter if you would like to enter to win a set of dice from Metallic Dice Gaming. They are red and green with gold numbering, and I would hold them up, but we've learned that you can't see the green on them because of my background, so that's a thing. But what I am going to have everybody do is I would like to have everybody go around again one more time. Just remind us of who you are and where you're from and where people can find you on social media and all that good stuff. We're going to go in the reverse order of when we started. So we are actually going to start this time with Zad.
Hi, yeah. So Zad Keelan Green on Twitter. Go, give that a follow for just kind of random. It was daily, and then I had a kid. Bits of like weird character pitches from my homebrew world, and some weird and me riffing on magic items. I think it was Orc War Chief and the Rod of Rulership today. So those are fun ones. And yeah, listen to Telluride. Telluride's a good time. You have a week before just an incredible episode. So get caught up.
Do it. Well, Zad, thanks so much for coming on and hanging out tonight. It was a lot of fun to have you on, and
thank you for having us.
Hopefully, we can do this again in the future.
Absolutely.
All right, Kyellen.
Hey, once again, I'm Kyellen. You can find me at Kyellen on Twitter. If you ever wonder whether you should follow Zad, you should, because Zad and I had a long discussion on Twitter that resulted in my track called Eye of the Beholder, and if you go to my SoundCloud profile and listen to it, you will understand that it is a very strange piece of music, because it is constructed entirely of bees and eyes. And if you wonder how I did that in music, well, you're going to have to learn some music theory. So,
yeah.
Oh, God.
If you're not into the homebrew and the mixing with NPCs and magic items, you definitely want to follow Zad, just because Zad will show up in one of your threads and say the weirdest shit, and it's fantastic.
That's awesome. It's really fantastic. So thank you, everyone. Thanks, Luna, for having me. I'm always happy to be here. And yeah, go listen to Telluride, because it's awesome. And we're awesome.
It's true. That's also true. Well, thank you for coming back on and hanging out tonight as well. Let's see, Ben.
Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin. You can find me on Twitter at TTBenjamin1. I'm the host and dungeon master of Lawful Great Adventures at Great_Lawful, a Pathfinder First Edition podcast about 4 friends on a long journey home. I also play Killian Cannon on the hit podcast Telluride, a Orbital Blues podcast hosted by Rabbit.
Rabbit.
Well, that was a really nice way to throw it to Rabbit.
Hey, I am Rabbit at _Rabbit on Twitter. Also, just call me Rabbit. I am the storyteller of Telluride, herding these cats as they go through the universe, trying to make it in a hellacious gig economy and trying to do a modicum of good along the way. I am also the voice of Theo Rosefield on Lawful Great Adventures. Please follow the at great_lawful to be able to find the links to both Telluride and Lawful Great Adventures campaigns.
Yes, all of that. Awesome. And Ray, who's never coming back again.
Not. I've been very poorly behaved. I am Ray Mayhem everywhere. You make sure you follow me on Twitter. I post a lot of mini stuff there, and you should for sure listen to Telluride. It is really fun and goofy, and also like very poignant and purposeful at points, and it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. And Ray, you can actually come back pretty much whenever
Yay!
you want.
Pretty much whenever you want.
Pretty much whenever you want.
Everybody should go on Twitter. Let me know if you want to see pictures of my most definitely haunted house.
Yeah, you should, because it's definitely haunted. Yeah.
No doubt.
We do not question that at all. And I am Gamer Mom Luna. This has been Tales from the Tavern. We are here just about every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we are the epic TTRPG
Thanks so much.
show where chat asks the questions, and we have to draw a giveaway winner. So I am going to close the giveaway unless anybody that's here on the panel wants to enter at the last second! Exclamation point.
You know what? Let's just do it. I just want to see if it even happens.
Like, tell Rabbit.
I have enough dice, so I'm gonna let one of the wonderful people out there get a
Same.
better chance at it.
Well, I'm not
Same.
here, so I can't claim it.
I always like roll my eyes
Oh my
super hard
God.
when the panelist wins the giveaway.
Yeah.
Come on, rigged.
All right, I
If
am
I
going
win it, we
to
draw.
close down the entries right now. And the winner is, drum roll please, Tale of the Manticore is your winner!
Dude,
Right
at the last, second.
minute.
Yeah.
Clutch win
Couldn't have gone to
right
a cooler
there at the
podcast.
end.
Definitely not. He's gonna have to roll those, and those dice are gonna kill somebody.
Those dice are going to kill someone.
Yep, it's going to die.
I apologize to whoever that is. So very cool. So yes, let's shoot me a message. Either drop me a whisper here on Twitter, or you can shoot me a message. Here or on Twitter is what I'm trying to say, or on Discord, and I believe that we are connected on Discord. So any of those places, you can shoot me a message, get me your address, and I will get those in the mail to you as soon as possible. Awesome. All right, we got to figure out who we're gonna go raid. Let's see who is on right now. Let's go pay a visit. Let's see. Oh, let's go pay a visit to Total Party Chill. They're playing some Dungeons and Dragons tonight, and they're a very cool studio-based D&D stream. So if you are not following them, definitely give them a watch for a few minutes. DM Devin has been a guest of mine in the past. He's really great, and they're a lot of fun. They do like D&D trivia nights sometimes and stuff like that. It's cool. So we're going to go over there and say hi to them. We'll be back again next week, and then we will take the week off after Christmas. So one more week, and then we're not back again until the new year. So we will see you all in a week. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
You, space cowboy.
Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Tales from the Tavern. You can catch this podcast recorded live every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/GamerMomLuna. All of our questions come directly from chat, so we never really know what to expect when we go live. If you ever have a question or would like to add something to the conversation, feel free to reach out on Twitter at GamerMomLuna and use the hashtag TFTT. You may just get to hear it answered. Thanks so much.
Oh, that was fun.
Oh, Ben, you are such a dork.